What's up, guys? My name is SnyperSama, but you can call me Sniper. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going over day 12, 13. I don't know what day it is. Either way, this is part of my 14 builds for 14 weapons series dropping on YouTube starting several days ago. But today is the Charge Blade, and the Charge Blade is a little bit of a different style. This Charge Blade build is built around elemental phials and SAED. If you don't know, Gogmazios and, ironically enough, Gravios are two of the best weapon or monsters in the game when it comes to taking elemental damage. Why their elemental hit zones are so much better, I guess, or worse, depending on how you look at it, I'm not sure. I have no idea why these two monsters get hit like absolute trucks by this weapon and the elemental SAED spam, but nonetheless, I enjoy it. And thanks to this promised abyss, this is my dragon element phial charge blade, I am able to hit and have hit over 1500 damage with an SAED during Gogmazios transitioning phases. It's kind of crazy. You do a crap ton of damage. This is how I built mine and how I hope you guys build yours too. Let's go ahead and hop into it. Today, we are rocking, like I said, the Dragon Elemental Charge Blade. Promised Abyss, which I have rolled a little differently. I have Gogma Apocalypse and Lord's Fury. Ideally here, you just need Gogma Apocalypse, at least if you're rocking my build. You can see here, we don't have any of the Arch-Tempered gear on. That is a-okay. You could technically get more damage if you were to get Lord's Soul, which is Guts, with Gogma Apocalypse, but you would have to adjust the build accordingly, mainly dropping either one of these pieces of Gogmazios gear or the helmet or the Mizitsune Greaves. I decided I didn't like that idea. I understand Guts is a crazy damage increase, but I wanted something that was going to make and take advantage of everything without needing a perfect god roll. Okay? Ideally, you need Gogma Apocalypse on this, on your weapon. The thing about it is if you need Gogma Apocalypse and you need Lord Soul, it's a little bit harder to roll both of those at the exact same time. I hope you guys are having some good luck with your rolls. I've had a few that are pretty solid, pretty decent that I have saved, but I've also got like 20 Gogmazios kills now, and I've been burning my supplies until I was happy with it. Hopefully you guys have got some better luck than I do in that department. Okay, so big thing here, focus on Gogma Apocalypse. And the reason for it is thanks to our armor and the choices of armor, because each of the armor pieces has a different set bonus skill attached to it. We get the 4-piece Mutual Hostility 2, giving us the temporary damage barrier that I was talking about, the 75 invulnerability shield that cannot be pierced through when you were to get hit. But on top of that, you are also going to get a ton more elemental attack, which ends up netting us more damage with our SAED explosions. Next up is we have an actual important part. Normally, I skip over the secondary weapon. Today, we're actually going to be including the Dragon Onyx Chorus. This is the Rarity 8 Gogma Artian Hunting Horn. Now, the reason for this is because it comes with Elemental Attack Boost. Elemental Attack Boost is just going to give us a little more on top to increase that damage. And it is a way to kind of supplement the amount of element that we would be getting from Mutual Hostility when the monster is enraged, because Mutual Hostility only works when the monster is enraged. This allows us to have that same amount of damage, whether the monster is enraged or not, and when it's enraged, it kind of caps even more at a higher point. Next up, we have Gogma gear here. Gogmazios Male Beta, Gogmazios Coil Beta, and the Gogmazios Vambraces Alpha. The reason these are very important is because of the skills they have. Right here on the chest plate is the only thing that doesn't matter. As long as you have Gogmazios gear here, you're good. But the Alpha matters, and that's because it gives us Fulgur Anjanath's Will. This is where Fulgur Anjanath comes into play. Because SAED is a very easy playstyle as far as actually doing the damage, you just kind of look for your opportunities. We want to make sure that when we hit, kind of like a greatsword, when you hit that big hit, that it is able to take full advantage of affinity. I'm fully aware that the SAED explosions do not crit. However, what does crit is the actual hit of your weapon, which means we want to make sure that we are doing as much damage as possible. and some of my Gravios testing with an ice one, just kind of messing around with this build before I committed fully into this dragon one. Fighting Gravios with this build, I was able to get all the way up to, I think it was somewhere around 1300 attack. Just on the SAED explosions, mix in the fact that I was hitting, I think somewhere around 300 for the weapon. I don't remember. It's been a few days. It was a lot of damage, okay? Next up is we have the Mizitsune Greaves. If you play Charge Blade, you know that Bubbly Dance is really, really nice. The reason Bubbly Dance is really, really nice is because this counts as a status affliction. That status affliction allows us to rock Coalescence, because when you clear that status affliction, you clear whatever status, abnormal status that you have, and you are going to get more elemental attack. Just kind of leading into a more defining elemental role, okay? As far as the charm goes, I decided to go with this one. This one for me it's pretty solid. I have been messing with Rapid Morph more, just based off of a couple comments that I've been getting from you guys in my YouTube comment section. And I don't hate it. I don't think it's the most amazing skill, but I don't think it's necessarily as bad as I was imagining it was in the past. I have not used Rapid Morph in a very long time, but also when it came to Charge Blade, truth be told, there hasn't really been a need to have anything other than an SAED playstyle, or not an SAED, a Savage Axe playstyle, where you just sat there and spam Savage Axe combos. The thing about it now is that you can kind of do one or the other, because they made the hit stop, they made the adjustments for SAED faster. Because they're faster, it doesn't feel like the monster gets his way as easily and you just miss. So Rapid Morph is something that I might recommend to you guys come more testing in the future, but ideally you just want load shells. If you happen to find one that doesn't have load shells or doesn't have Rapid Morph, Part Breaker, that's fine. All you need is load shells, okay? Load shells is going to allow you to just do everything you need. Load shells is important, whereas artillery is not, because we are on elemental phials. Load shell is just going to increase our Charge Blade phial capacity, and it's going to give us 5 phials when we are on yellow, okay? So, now that we have gone over that, we've touched that, let's go ahead and look at the rest of our armor decorations before we get into our weapon ones. On our armor, we are rocking 1, 2, 3 protection jewels. We are rocking 1, 2, 3 sheath jewels. 1 gobbler jewel, thanks to the armor that we're using, we actually already do get speed eating level 3. It's not a requirement, it is nice. Truth be told, you can take every single one of these level 1 decorations off, and you can put in whatever you want here. Divine protection, speed eating, those are just the things that I necessarily run when I have those open level 1 slots. I think they're pretty solid. You could also go defense boost if you really wanted to, but truth be told, they're free, they're open, use what you want there. If you want quick sheath, stun resistance, divine blessing, maybe adaptability, shockproof, like it doesn't matter, though, it's your choice, okay? Next up, and probably one of the most important parts, is these Phoenix Jewels. Phoenix Jewels are very, very important. Is going to max out your coalescence stack when it comes to the elemental boost that you get after clearing Mizutsune's Bubble Blight, okay? This is a very, very normal combo set, specifically for Charge Blade, because when you're doing your elemental spam, you want it to be as high as possible, okay? Next up is we have the Chain Jewel, and we have a Challenge Jewel. The reason for these, it's going to give us Burst, it's going to give us Agitator level 4. Technically speaking, if you really wanted to, you could drop this Chain Jewel for another Agitator. It doesn't really matter. Use it as you see fit. The reason I am doing it like this is because Burst itself also gives more elemental attack. Meaning, as long as you keep attacking, your element stays much higher than what it might actually showcase right over here in your attack status. Next up is you have your weapon ones. If you don't care about Rapid Morph, you don't need Quick Switch. The only ones that I recommend you focus on are Dragon, Shield, and Focus. Focus is just nice because it takes away a little bit of the combo that's required to charge up your phials. If you're going for an SAED playstyle, you want to make sure that you're charging your phials as often as possible, meaning Focus makes it a little bit faster. Next up is you want Dragon. The reason for Dragon is just going to increase the amount of Dragon attack you have, letting you hit that elemental cap even easier. And last but not least is Guard Up. Probably one of my new favorite skills. The buffs that they gave it are really, really nice. Not only do you reduce the damage you take by 30%, but you can also block unblockable attacks. And there's a lot of monsters, at least newer monsters, that we're fighting that have these unblockable attacks. This is really nice to make sure that we're not just getting absolutely devastated, okay? So, now that we have all of that, let's go ahead and showcase exactly what I'm talking about. You can see I have 231 raw attack, 30% affinity, and 744 dragon element. Okay, if I come over here, I talk to our boy Luke. Let's turn on Agitator, turn on Coalescence, turn on Gogma Apocalypse. Okay, with all of those on, I have 1,256 dragon element. I gained 500 just because the monster was enraged and I have Coalescence active. Now, if I were to come over here, though, and start attacking, you can see Burst is now activated. I have 1,300 element, okay? If I were to sit here, charge up, not only can you sit there and do an SAED playstyle, but you can also do Charge Sword. Some of these ticks are hitting for 76 damage. Okay, 76 is a crap ton, just as extra follow-up damage. But what's crazier is that you can get even more damage than that. So we're going to go into a super amped elemental discharge. 715 damage on the dummy. Okay, when it comes to elemental hit zones, this dummy isn't absolutely cracked out of its mind. It's middle of the pack. Meaning, if all of those were to hit the exact same spot, there is 5 charges hitting for 750 damage. We'll just call it 700. 700 times 5, 3,500 damage. Now, if you think about it, I told you guys at the very beginning of the video, with this Charge Blade setup, I was able to hit over 1,500 on Gogmazios. 1,500 times 5, you're looking at 7,500 damage. Just let that sink in for a second, okay? 7,500 damage. It may not sound like a lot, but when you think about it in terms of like Gravios only has, I think, somewhere around the 25,000 mark. If you're hitting for 7,500, all it takes is 4 of those attacks, and look how fast I can get it back all over again. Charge it back up. Boom. Amped Elemental Discharge. Super amped Elemental Discharge. That took me 15 seconds, maybe less, and we were able to take full advantage of it. But what you also might be forgetting is we have a hunting horn here. This hunting horn is insanely good, and the reason for it is because if you watched my last video when it came to this hunting horn, we can get an elemental attack boost. That elemental attack boost is going to just give us a little on the top. However, what you may not know is that little on the top makes a huge difference. So, let's go ahead and showcase it. 1218 element, okay? We have Bubble Blight now, but it's not cleared into Coalescence quite yet. So we're going to go ahead and talk to Luke one more time. Agitator, Coalescence. With our elemental attack bonus, we are hitting the element cap of 1,300, 1,400. Okay? This build is absolutely crazy because you can sit there and just pump out ludicrous amounts of damage. In fact, what we're going to do here is I'm going to back up. Amped Elemental Discharge into a super amped with all of our bonuses. 715. 750. This build is crazy. You can pump out an unreal amount of damage. And it is also a ton of fun. There's definitely not amazing things going on with Charge Blade right now, but it does feel a lot better than it has in the past. I'm really excited of where it's at. I think it needs a little bit more, but at least for now, it gives me a little bit better feeling than it has before. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for today's video. Thank you all for coming and watching. Thank you all for hanging out. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe. If you guys are as interested in Title Update 4 and other games as much as I am, don't forget that I stream most nights over on Twitch at twitch.tv/SnyperSama. I'll see all of you in the next one. Farewell.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.